It's likely we don't do this crap.
No, we're good. Go do all that first.
Yeah. We get out of executive session
yeah.
first.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to come out of executive session. Is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
You have to act on Philbrook Fund.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bob.
All right, on 2023-08, I move that we decline.
Do the pledge.
Oh, okay,
I'll second.
okay. Been moved and seconded. Could you repeat it?
It was my
I
fault.
was, yeah,
The motion is to decline 2023-08.
all right. It's been moved and seconded to decline 2023-08. Is there any other discussion? If not, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. We have one more. 2023-09.
That motion is to accept and to allocate $1,260 for 2023-09.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? That motion carried. Okay, now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
John Daigle bucket truck. So John Daigle.
Yeah.
John Daigle. We've got some little presentation tonight here for John Daigle.
I see.
So town report dedication tonight. We are very, and I have to tell you personally, I am extremely honored that John is receiving the town dedication of the report. This is a man who has been married to this town longer than he's been married to his wife. There is no one who has a bigger heart for the town of Waldoboro than John Daigle as an employee. Let me tell you, dedication nights. This man has moved alewives in a truck from one spot to another. Built a wonderful garage that will last for a very long time, coming from a hen pen that he started out working in. Started working when he was in high school doing this.
Yep.
And just an all-around good guy. You couldn't ask for a more dedicated employee who's truly dedicated his life to the town. I think we've been your only employer.
You have.
You know,
Yep.
and he's always, you know, it's funny, he always says he treats everybody exactly the same, and he does. My greatest challenge was to make him smile. That was my greatest challenge when I got here, was making John smile. And what was hard was he came up at a time where you had to explain everything. You know, so when he would walk in the office and I'd be like, that sounds like a good idea. He had to explain it, but I got it. And I don't think he was prepared for that. So, you know, on occasion, he'd give me a little business. But one of the greatest things about John is he has some really good humor. The best thing, and I wish I could share a lot of these stories, but I can't. But some of the stories from back in the 70s are hysterical. In here, there is one particular story about somebody having to go to Doc Waterman's house. I guess his doctor's office. You remember telling me that?
Yeah.
So we are very honored to award you with this town report dedication.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, family is here, his beautiful family,
All right.
who's, I just, because I'm afraid you're gonna get mad.
Already is.
Your family knew,
Yeah.
so please be mad at them and not me.
I would like to take a picture with you and.
I will.
Feel mad at me?
All right. Let's do it this way. All right, we got everybody in. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna take another one.
Okay.
Here, I'm,
Everybody get under this light here. The light isn't very good over there. Yeah. Better. All right, go ahead and look at me. Smile. 1, 2, 3. We're done. Now we will.
oh, now you want me and John? Oh, I get to. Oh, I'm gonna get it tomorrow. I just know there's gonna be a fish in my truck.
Where's a book? Let's have a book.
A book right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and. come on, under there. There we go. That's good. All right, we'll get nice. and close. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
That's funny.
Thank you. Thank you. No speech on it?
Thank you.
You gotta have a speech. There's gonna be a fish in my truck.
When I first moved to Waldeboro, at school, my parents, from up north, we already worked when we were kids. So when I first moved to Waldeboro, looked at the town, see if there was anything we could do. Paul Walter was foreman then, and he said, sure. So a lot of handwork and everything else fit right in, but it was different. We didn't do the same thing every day. So started, I think I was a freshman in high school and worked for the town in the summers. They gave me the opportunity. Went on, even my senior year, ended up plowing snow. They were short people. And I just loved it ever since, and been doing it ever since. And you can ask my wife, I've never spent a snowstorm with her. And we've been married about 37 years. It's just bad to me. This town was bad to me, I think. So, thank you.
We still got a bucket truck.
Yeah, he can get a bucket truck too. That was kind of a ploy to get him here. There was a lot of ploys. At this time, I'd like, if it's possible, I'm sure Richard Lash has something too.
Mike, if you saw the trickery that went on in that family over there, it's hard to believe, I know, but we just did the same thing. As a town report, also dedicated to you, it's going to John this year. So. That's quite a good write up here, you can say. But I was just trying to think today what I would say, and I got thinking back when we was kids, and Mike was always a good brother, and he was I'm not saying this just so you know I'm the younger brother, but he was a freshman in college when I was a freshman in high school. So he had his driver's license before I did, and this will tell you, again, we grew up in a hardware store. My parents owned a hardware store, and so we was always expected the day the truck come that we was to unload and stock the shelves and all of that. And we was up in the barn one day and we found from a parade back in the 50s, this moose head that you put down over your, this like a plastic moose head you put down over your, rest on your shoulders. And had eyes in it, so you could see where you was going. And so my father had a truck, the delivery truck, and it had a snow plow, but so it had one of those big orange amber lights on top for plowing. And so I jumped up in the truck and I set that moose head down. And I don't know if you remember this story or not. I set the moose head down on the light. I says, Mike, remember, he's old enough to drive. I'm not. I says, turn the light on. It was perfect. The eyes on that moose would light up like this. And I'm thinking, other people, this is cool. Other people in town have got to see this. So the older one driving, so I can't remember if we duct taped it under the roof, bungee cord or what we did, but we're going down the road. I don't know how my father so quickly, as we're driving, just leaving down Main Street in Friendship with these lights and the moose eyes lighting up, how he caught up with us so quick. I don't think we got 200 feet down the road. And he jumped up in the back of the truck and he took that off, never said a word to us other than get going, was making a delivery somewhere. And we come back and Mike was usually the good one. And he got, Mike, you're older, you should know better. I was the one that got in trouble. So somehow parents know those things. As also thinking is, this is a good write-up. You did a good job with the write-up. And he's as a foster parent, and as a brother, and just he's a good all-around guy. And he as a little kid, he was always let me tag along, playing baseball, basketball. I would say a few years younger. We went trout fishing one day, and I don't know if you'll remember this one, but we're coming out and a car was parked in this wood road that we had walked into. Coming out, there was a car there. And all the thing I remember Mike saying is, Richard, he's don't look in the car. And he's walking like this between me and the guy. Well, apparently there was some parkers there in a compromised position that he didn't want to see. So, so that piqued my interest, but we always roomed together. We shared a bedroom until we moved up to I was 11, I think, when we moved up to the store, and we had a lot more room up. There's a lot bigger apartment up there. And but we always got along good. So he always let me tag along. He never said anything to me. He may have to my parents, I don't know, but he always let me tag along. And he's just always been just a kind person. Yes, been a good person. And sorry if I get a little emotional. I was thinking of when the disciples were sitting with Jesus, they asked him, what's the greatest commandment? He says, love the Lord the God with all your heart and love others. And he's displayed both of that in his life. Thank you.
And we would be very remiss if we did not say this, because my grandson thinks he's the greatest chicken man ever. And I didn't even realize that my grandsons knew you, but you are the chicken expert.
Well,
And you have displaced Oma as the chicken expert. And that's huge. He's very well known as the chicken man. It's a fact.
He's been my chicken man for years.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
We need pictures now. Everybody has to get up.
Oh.
Jan, do you mind?
I'd love to.
You got another book?
Of course, we have another.
All right.
No,
We're stealing books.
Wow.
I'm the mom's definitely, Mama Lash gets whatever she wants.
People told me not to hurry, and I said,
Yeah,
don't.
right in front of the light is fine.
Hurry anyway,
It does make a difference.
get to turn around, wait a minute, where are you?
All right. Back up.
Oh, Rebecca.
Okay. Looks good. I'm gonna take two, all right?
All right.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then let's do one this way. Ready for the second one? Nice big smile. 1, 2, 3.
And I just want to let everybody know, we have a very unique selection process here in town. People are nominated by the public. So both nominations came from the public. It's not the select board who makes the nomination or anybody else. It's members of the public submit names for consideration. So I shouldn't get a fish in my car.
Can I ask?
Someone's getting one.
That person in town's mailbox.
Yes, there was definitely one person's mailbox he did not get.
Do we go now? or
You can
stay?
go, you can go. You're free.
Oh.
Go have a good dinner.
That was, that was so good.
Thanks for coming. It was nice to see you all. Aw,
I just wanted to say, we were trying to find a sweatshirt before we came. And he ended up wearing his Boston Poultry sweatshirt, and he said, well, I'll have to wear that. No one will be looking at me anyway, so I had to.
well, I'm convinced that John had to get a haircut because of tonight. It wasn't because of Social Security.
So anyway, but I'm sure he's very pleased. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So now do you want to come up and talk about your bucket truck? Get this meeting back on track.
We've been lucky the last few years, Ron
Davis.
has let us use his bucket truck free of charge for the last 2 years. That saved us quite a bit of money. Now he's decided to sell it. We negotiated the price. The price is reasonable. I looked up prices of other bucket trucks. Same age. Same mileage, they're running $50,000 to $60,000. The bucket trucks are 2011. Got 38,000 miles on it. Been well maintained, and everything else. He will do it on payments. One of the things back before, I was putting away $10,000 a year. That's what it costs us, whether I hire Asplin, hire Poppy or Benner's tree service is costing us $10,000. We get a week's worth of work out of them. So that's always been put in the budget. Right now, where I've still been putting in the 10,000 a year in, because you never know what's gonna happen. He went $46,000 for the truck. I have 20,000 in the highway construction account, and I would like to ask that we purchase a truck, pay him 20,000 this June, and then I put in 10,000 in my budget again next year, take that and pay him. I'm looking at a payment of one payment of 20,000, and next year's payment 13,000, and the following year 13,000. It is quite a savings, you know. Also, that bucket truck can turn around and be used for street lights. Max sort of mentioned that today, and which works out well. The reason being,
with the street lights, we have contracts. With the company, and we have to have so many. Lights out for it's worthwhile for us to. Hire them to come in. This way here, the truck would be available. The town has, its own electrician. Which also works, for, street light company. And he could use a bucket truck and. Replace them. So what we paying the company could help offset the price of the bucket truck. So
Can I make a motion, Mr. Chairman? That we purchase the bucket truck as John has recommended, $20,000 in fiscal year 23. $13,000 in fiscal year 24, and another $13,000 in fiscal year 25.
no. It was 20,000. And then 13 and then 13,
Okay,
which is 46,000.
46,000.
That's what we agreed to.
Is there a second? I'll second that. Is there any discussion? No, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
One abstention.
One abstention, yes. Okay, next is the public hearings. There are three. First is the main kebab liquor license application. I think you had,
We open the public hearing.
yeah, that's what was what I wanted to do. Maybe I was going at it the wrong, but that's what I wanted to do. So may I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. All right, we're looking for public comments in regard to Main Kebab liquor license application.
Make one if you want.
You're from Maine Kebab.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah, Applecroft Catering up the hill. Just renewing my catering license for the season.
that's in Gail Montgomery's place up there, isn't it?
That's my mother.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
it's off-site catering, so there's no liquor consumption in Walsboro.
Right.
It's just weddings around the state. So,
Oh, that hangs together.
You just.
Have any openings on August 20th?
Now, do you live there?
I do. I do.
We're neighbors.
Nice.
I live 2 houses down. On the other side of my wife's uncle where he used to live.
All right.
So I guess you know, he doesn't have wild parties or stuff in that place, does he?
Not so far,
Decent.
not a thing,
At least none he's been invited to.
but anyway, very good. All right, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to close the public hearing. Is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Okay.
Do you guys have that application?
Mhm.
Right, you do? Is
We'll
there?
have it.
We have to sign it. We have to sign-
Yeah,
Do you need it right now?
could you?
We got to vote on it first.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'd have to vote.
I make a motion, we approve the liquor license for Main Kebab.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the liquor license for Main Kebab. Is there any discussion? Now proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried.
You guys do that.
Hold on, I gotta make sure this is the right one. All right, pass it down and sign it. Do you need to keep a copy?
I need a copy.
You can go with Pam after they all sign it.
Awesome. Thank you. I gotta get it up to the state, so.
Okay. That takes us to the public hearing for the June 13th, 2023 warrant.
Laura Cabot,
We got Laura Cabot.
we got one more,
Cabinet.
one more liquor license.
All right. I have a motion to open the bar, open the hearing for Laura Cabot catering liquor license application.
So,
Is there a second?
second.
Then moved with second. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Now the warrant. We're moving right along.
Did you vote to approve it?
Those bill.
Public comment. Did we have any? I missed it. I was.
Didn't I ask for any
Not yet on the.
public comments? Oh, okay. What I did was covered it under discussion rather than calling it
Yeah.
public comment.
Yeah,
All
you're
right,
fine.
my mistake. Let me back up. Let's go back to main kebab.
Oh, no, you're fine with main kebab.
Where I done that one, all right.
And then the opening, we opened it, you opened it, well, we've opened the hearing for Laura Cabot. There was no comment, correct?
Right.
There's nobody online commenting. So now you just have to close the public hearing and then vote on Laura Cabot.
Okay. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve the Laura Cabot liquor license application.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? None? Is there any public comments? Your motion to close the public hearing.
Oh, already did. We're just approving the application.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay, so we're done with that?
We're just gonna vote on approving the
Okay.
application.
All right. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I did. I made that motion.
Okay.
Jan seconded it.
I'll show up later.
You sure that was T? You sure that was T in that?
Okay,
Lawnmower, side by side.
all right.
So the vote would be to approve the.
Yeah, so you just need to do a roll call vote.
Okay. Roll call vote. Okay, we don't have
You just have to
All
vote.
those in-
How many?
Just all in favor?
All in favor?
all in favor. All opposed. All right.
She's all set.
I was gonna go right down the way there. Okay,
My warrant. Woohoo. We've got the warrant now. How much fun.
okay.
We just have to open for
Open,
public.
yeah, open the public hearing for the June 13th, 2023 warrant.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? That motion carried. Are there any public comments?
So I am really hoping you're not going to make me read this again.
You've read it already.
I read it already, and I did a really good job reading. Did you want me to go over highlights or anything? I just want to point out that our amazing town clerk put out a voter guide that had the warrant in it. She did a really great job. It had candidates, warrant, school budget, everything, and we included explanations. So it is well publicized. It's on our website. It's been on Facebook, so it must be true. And the actual annual town meeting is June 13th. Polls are open 8 AM to 8 PM. And currently, if you would like to vote, you can request an absentee ballot. I don't see.
Any other public
Does
comments?
anybody have any questions for me at all? I thought this was gonna be the really long part of the meeting. Okay,
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, it's been moved in second. Is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor of closing the public hearing? All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right,
Make a motion to approve the June warrant article for June 13th, 2023 warrant.
is there a second? Is there any discussion? If not. All in favor? All opposed? That motion carried. Okay. Adjustments to the agenda. Any other adjustments to the agenda?
and I don't have any.
Nope. None, Bob? Nope. We're good.
Okay, we'll move to citizen comment. Citizen comments. From the crowd.
The lively crowd.
Where's Ruben? He's not even on. He's in a different time zone today.
I will say so.
That's good. I'm glad. Everybody's saying something.
When you run for.
250th. God bless you, 250th celebration,
Comedy night.
June 17th, June 16th, 17th, and 18th. Things are moving great, just like I said in the last meeting. We're gonna have programs available or list of scheduled activities available going out in the public. We're gonna put them in stores here at town office, different places around town. Obviously, we're gonna blast them social media and things like that. And I want to say thank you to Madomic Design. They've done a great job. They did our poster, they did this. They did a great job with all of our advertising. We plan to have definitely a good time that weekend for everyone. And just like the town manager said, we got one last fundraising event. This Friday night, we have a comedian coming to Madonna Valley. We hope to see everyone there.
You can buy tickets at the town office for $25 or they're $32 at the door. So come here first and buy them.
How
We're
much-
here.
How many tickets do you have left?
Right up my truck right now.
Well, I just-
I've got some ass up.
We got you. We got you.
Right
Okay.
here.
I didn't know, because you're going to only have so many people in there, so I just curious.
I'll take good care of you.
you want?
He's
Like
really
cultures
funny.
around here.
He's really funny. It's a great night out.
He played the Garden on his way up here in Boston.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy's the real thing. It's a real deal.
he's hysterical.
The two comedians and me talking.
And it's family appropriate, correct,
Yeah.
John?
All right, moving right along, the select board comments. Start with Bob. Do you have anything, Bob?
Just want to verify, you told me we put in our ARPA report on April 30th, right?
Correct.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Abden, anything going on in your world?
We got the fish counter in a little over a week ago. That was interesting with all the runoff that we had from the previous 7 inches of rain. A lot of fish got up through. We didn't think they would, but they did get up through before we could get the fish counter in. It was a struggle it's a week ago Saturday, we got it in. And the first 3 days, we had over 50,000 fish go through that fish counter. And there was already probably that, if not more, that had already gone up through that we missed because of the big rainstorm. So, and there's more coming, so. hopefully-
Just a question, what is it that counts them? Is it a wire or?
That's
you know-
very complicated. It's a
Larry
Computer.
explained it really well.
it's a computer that has wires that run off that as sensors. There's 12 4-inch PVC tubes in that fish counter. They're all stacked on top of each other. And there's little wires that run to a hose clamp, stainless steel hose clamp. That wire is connected to that, and that creates a like a force field. So when the fish goes through, it counts that fish. And every fish that goes through, it counts, but there's 12 holes for those fish to go through. So in one day, we had one tube, just one of those tubes had over 8,000 fish go through it,
So they actually swim through.
swim through it.
Yes.
Wow.
They actually swim through, they got no place to go. That's the only place they can go, is to go through them tubes. And from what I understand, as soon as one goes through, it's kind of like when you're trapping for big eels. If an eel finds where one eel went, it'll go right in the same hole. And that's what the alewives do. They'll follow each other right straight through straight through. It's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And
No idea.
But the guy that built it, Larry Reed, when he was talking to the state up in Augusta about how to build this fish counter, they told him it took him 108 hours to do. He laughed at him. He says, I can do this in 2 days. He's got pretty close to 108 hours to do it. By the time you run around for everything, putting it together, it was very, very meticulous. But thanks to Max getting the fish counter, I put him onto that and he found us the money for it, and it wasn't cheap. That computer was $16,000.
And I just want to say, Larry Reed has volunteered his services.
Yes, he has. He has volunteered all his time.
All of his time, and you know,
Yeah, and
everybody's really excited about this.
Yep.
The Davis Fish Fund.
Yep.
Very
yeah,
excited.
it's hard to find volunteers now, and this will take that volunteer. We're concerned about getting volunteers to count fish. Takes a lot of that element
Might
out.
be a little more accurate too.
Could be.
I mean, you know, when you see, how do you count all of those fish accurately? 50,000 fish is a lot of fish to count.
We've
And
learned a
it-
few things. Next year, I think what we'll do is maybe put something white above the fish counter so you can see the fish go up through, because you could see them. There's a pipe that goes across. And it's dark, but you can see them go up through. But if we had something white going across there, like a piece of PVC laid over that bigger pipe, so you could actually see the fish go up through, it'd be pretty neat.
Does that last for a while, that counter? mean,
I
does
hope
it
so.
have a 5 or 10 year life?
Oh,
You
I would
don't
think
know.
so. I would think so, as long as
Yeah.
it's taken care of.
Yeah.
We got a big box. It's I can't remember what the name of the box is. It's supposed to be just indestructible, that we put the computer into. And that's supposed to protect it from any weather or anything
Wow.
else like that. It's padlocked, you can't get into it.
So it stays in the river.
The box does not, the fish counter will come out. As soon as the run is over, all that fish counter and stuff will come out. But the computer itself is up on the shore in a locked box and.
Okay.
Chained down. And it's got cameras on it, so if anybody wants to go down, say, just smile, because you'll be on camera. And that's cell cameras, so that goes instantly to somebody's phone, so. And I can see the bridge from my house, so. Just to be aware.
So where would one go if they wanted to look at it?
It's right on the Mill Street Bridge.
Bridge,
It's
mhm.
just down
If you
over.
look down, can you see?
Yes,
You
the
can see the
counter?
box,
You
you
can
can
see
see
the
the
box.
counter.
Counter is
Yep.
what I was.
we don't recommend you hang over the side.
I don't recommend swimming this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, some people are interested in looking.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah, if they have to be walking down Mill Street to the right hand, on the upper side of the river.
where
you
the
look down,
counters
you'll
used
see.
to be.
Yeah, right where that platform was is where the box is.
Okay,
Yeah, the fish counter's right underneath the bridge right there.
mhm. Okay, great.
Yep. Yeah, the water's a little high again right now.
Nice.
No, it's pretty cool. I helped get the wire across the river and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. But Larry had the majority of the work into the counter itself. That was a lot more tedious than he realized.
And he has to check it.
What's that?
He checks and gets a
He
count
checks it every day.
every
Yep.
day.
Yeah.
Yep, go down, he takes a picture of it and usually sends it to me, or every couple days, he'll send me
Mhm.
pictures of the fish counter.
And we're gonna get a final count at the end of the
Yep,
run?
yep.
Nice.
Like I said, we missed because of the big rain we had, that it couldn't get installed, which kind of surprised me that the fish still came up through.
Mhm.
They did, and they were at the falls above my house before we put the counter in, and there was probably
Yep.
at least 50,000, if not more,
Wow.
already made it up through before we could get the fish counter in.
And they were saying, at least over in Damascotta Mills, that the cold weather, the cold nights also have slowed them down a little
Yeah.
bit, so.
Yeah, the cold weather, because they were all up and behind my house. And we had those two couple
Yeah.
cold mornings last week and they backed off.
Well, they announce when they come to my yard,
Mm.
they're in the vet down below. And there's always an announcement when the fish are there,
Yeah,
about, I don't know,
Seagulls.
300 gulls
Mhm.
out there. And they make enough noise, so it's inside the house, so it's fun though, it's really, and then whenever they run, I,
there was an eagle at the house today, grabbed a fish and took it up into a
Yeah.
tree and decided to have his way with him.
well, yeah, Yeah.
He was lunch.
yeah, the osprey are down.
Yeah.
Down catching too. Oh, interesting, nice. Well, let's see, the one thing that I've been meaning to mention for some time. Is, and I'm always interested in communication. Jan mentioned earlier about the key is communication. And it's hard, I think it's hard as a town to communicate to all of our citizens. And I know they say we don't, well, I didn't know about that. Well, it's in the paper, it's here, anyway. So communication, I think, is important. It's a big thing. And I'd been thinking about some things earlier. And then, not too long after that, comes Rebecca Waddell with her new What's New in Waldeboro and her article that's in the Courier Gazette. Is it in the Lincoln?
Just the Courier.
Just in the Courier. But it's really quite well done. It's organized. It's quite well done. She and she's a very neutral, gives the facts. And I think that's been very helpful to the town to have somebody on top of it and keeping down drama and all of that sort of thing. But anyway, I'd like to thank Rebecca Waddell for her newspaper article and her Facebook page, What's New in Waldeboro, keeping us all informed.
Well, I'd just say that was a great dedication, the town report to John Daigle. He's had a long career here. I think when he started, they were still using horses to plow the roads. But in all seriousness,
Thank you, Brill.
but in all seriousness, Waldeboro's been lucky to have someone as dedicated and knowledgeable as John, and it was a very well-deserved honor.
Bill's got jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from him.
The only thing I have is the Empty Bowl Soup Supper is tomorrow night at the high school. There's a silent art auction to support the art boosters, and that starts at 5:30. So it should be a good thing. Okay, we'll move along to town managers report.
So we have two special acknowledgements this week. One is EMS week is this week. And I just want to point out that if you see any of our EMS staff or Chief Booker, to please make sure to thank them for their service. We all know how important they are to our community. Just today, Chief Booker responded up to the fire in, I guess it's Somerville, the corner Jefferson 32. It came out as Somerville when they toned it out. But it was the corner of 32 and 17. But it was Jefferson, you know, he went up there. We had to call in. It was an all call. We did call in extra personnel to come in so that there was ample coverage. And it's also Public Works Week. So I want to point out one project that was done last week, and it kind of piggytails onto a couple of things. I know 235 is partially closed, so not everybody may have seen it, but last week, in conjunction with the DOT, they're going to be putting in a all-way stop at the dangerous intersection of Manktown and 235. And what we did was, in partnership with the state, we cleared the sight lines for them. Our Public Works Department did that. And they were out there. I posted some wonderful pictures on Facebook of it. They'll be taking the stumps out next week because we had to call before you dig. But that showed great cooperation. And we got a very nice email from someone from the DOT who said in his 33 years, he's never seen better cooperation between the town and the DOT. And I think that speaks a lot to our community. They're also installing a always stop at 220 and Old Augusta Road, and that's our second dangerous intersection. And Bob Moran, I think we all remember Bob coming to these meetings and standing up and pleading that something be done with the Route 220 Old Augusta Road intersection. I remember on September 7th, 2017, there was a meeting on Old Augusta Road and Bob Moran was there and the DOT and all of you guys were there. I remember that date because I wasn't, because my grandson was being born. But stuff like that, we're going to also help the state with that. These are things that when we work together, we get so much more accomplished, and I'm just really proud of that. And it's about our residents and putting our residents first and their safety. And I hope that now when we have these other issues that may come up that involve this, we'll see the wonderful spirit of cooperation continue. And that's all I've got. Happy, happy, happy.
Okay. Moving right along. Consent calendar, is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? I will make note that approved meeting minutes, May 9th. Okay, the rest is as you see it printed.
I just want to point out too, there's one item of correspondence. Justin, our shellfish warden, wanted to give a shout out to Connie Miller. She is one of Justin's very reliable cleanup crew along Bremen Road. She picked up a vacuum cleaner, a sewing machine, 2 chairs, part of a culvert, a tire, and 5 bags of trash. And did a really great job. But he wanted that pointed out. Like, I think that's one of his regulars that maybe even during cleanup days does clean up and calls them, and he runs down and picks it up. And he just thought it would be nice to give her a special shout out.
Yeah, she did it the day before, because I went down through and I said, huh, I didn't think cleanup was that day. And it wasn't. She was doing it the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Justin went down during the cleanup day and picked up all the trash that she had picked up, which was awesome.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Is there any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? That motion carried. Okay. Moving along to new business. Johnstone Water Extension Study.
And I did get a text from Ruben. He is watching.
Oh, good.
I just can't see his comments on YouTube, apparently.
Feels better to know that.
That's my fault. Watching from Vegas.
Yes, apparently he's watching from Vegas.
Not jealous at all. Not one bit.
So this water study. I don't know if anyone remembers, but about 2 years ago, I was talking about maybe extending the utilities along Route 1 so we could try and create some more commercial areas. And unfortunately, that couldn't pass because of some ledge. However, I was reached out to very recently by Moody's Diner saying, hey, is that water extension ever going to happen? Which is surprising that someone actually wanted one of my projects to go forward. So I did talk with him a bit more, and he reached out to me because that was the day Moody's Diner had some issues with water and they actually had to close down for the day or so. I think some people.
They had a well pump issue.
So he was curious if that was actually something that was going to happen. And I spoke with Borealis Breads quite a while ago, and they had very similar concerns that they do have their own well right now, but They would like to get on town water, so there's a reliable source. So I spoke with Maine Water. And Wright Pierce provided me an outline map, which I believe everyone got. Yep. That shows that if the water was extended along 220 from the old Route 1 intersection, about a third of a mile maybe to get to the Route 1 intersection. Which is what I think is going to be the likely option, but Maine Water thinks we might have to just extend the water from here at the town office all the way up to Hillview.
So the businesses from here up do not have town water?
Nope.
I didn't realize that.
Sorry, Max, does that include the cornhole connection? as well?
Cornhole connection does have water.
They do have one, yes.
But
But it stops there.
stopped right there.
Okay. Actually, I didn't know. I thought it went at least to
No, there was a,
Maritime.
no, when I have to show anyone the utilities maps, they're very surprised seeing that all of Depot Street has water, and yet there's so many parts of Route 1 that don't have it. So, speaking with Brian Pierce back in November, they said that they could do a study for about just short of $12,000. Just to see what it would take to actually get the water extension to that intersection. I think Chief Smeltzer said back when I first talked about the utility extension that getting water at that intersection would be great, because that means we could put a hydrant there for fire safety reasons. I was gonna speak with Maine Water on Thursday for an unrelated matter and see if maybe Wright Pierce could still do this for 11,900. And I was thinking we do the study with some of the funding, with the funding coming from our tip. I've just gone over the numbers. Last year, we had about $61,000 from the revenue, and even if we were to copy that exact amount, we would still have enough to pay off the purchase of the Worcester parking lot, the broadband study, and this project. And we know there's gonna be a lot of more coming in because we've sold Friendship School. If the amendments pass, we're gonna get maybe over $10,000 in tip revenue, so the amendments alone would pay off for this study. And then once the study's done, there's some infrastructure money that's likely to be down the pipeline.
That's what I was wondering. Is there a grant that we could apply for in the process to reimburse ourselves for that?
Planning, no,
No?
probably not. But I think by next year, CDBG will have public infrastructure so that we might be able to apply. for that.
Reimburse, would we not get reimbursed? We would just be able to apply for the construction.
And that's where there'll be CDBG, supposedly Northern Borders is something that might be available to Lincoln County next year, and that would pretty much pay off the project. But no, planning would be the tip. And that's
Have
why
they given you a price or tag on that?
No, I'm scared what it's gonna be, but I have to see what it is first, and that's why I want to get the study.
So the quote you got goes back to September of last year.
November. Or is it?
No, their letter is dated September, okay, sorry, I
No.
stand corrected, November 26th. Apologies.
28th, November 28th. You say 26?
I said 26.
You need new glasses.
I am bringing new glasses.
I'm just glad I got the money right. So I can check with Wright Pierce to see if that's still the price. I just need to know if whether it's tonight or maybe June, that's your next meeting, if should discuss this a bit more, or your thoughts are.
I just want to remind everybody that June 13th is our next meeting, so you will not have a town manager or a clerk for your next meeting.
So we should make a decision on this tonight. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, you can, if you're planning anything, I think you'd be fine, because could you be here that night? Or are you going to be out that night?
Hopefully, I can be here.
So I would just make it the second meeting in June. If you're gonna have him check on Thursday about the price, and then I would take it back up at the second meeting in June.
Yeah, maybe you could just renew the letter. Update the letter. that needs to be done. I think it's a good idea. I'm just wondering why, well, you go all the way up, either go all the way up Route 1, or you go all the way up to 220.
And that's part of what the study, it's
Yeah.
gonna see,
How far does it go on 220?
It ends at the old Route 1 intersection.
Hold,
Or,
it'd be almost,
well, it goes up old Route 1 to Coles Hills Apartments.
So the museum isn't on town water.
no. I think that would be the shortest route, but
I would think so too.
It's the shortest route. And you don't have to go up the hill, but they've said that the Route 1 extension would probably be the easier one, which I don't know how they.
I think because of. They have an existing issue with pressure at that old,
By Coles Hill.
by Coles Hill.
they have issue.
There's always a problem. Water there.
So it depends on the size of the, John, am I right? Even remotely? Size of pipe and stuff?
Reason you have pressure valve, reservoir, almost the same height as over on Coles Hill. So if you go much higher.
You actually go downhill right there, so. Because you're going back towards Route 1, so it may not be that bad of.
It's not the top of Coles Hill. That's the problem. That's why it's put off years ago. Last time that.
They lose water when the power goes out because they have, it's.
Well, the study would look at both options anyways, show what.
I got you.
Does this include, or would it include comment about Volunteers of America and possible pressure issues at that building when it's built?
No, Volunteers of America, they have to do their own separate thing and they have to pay for their own costs, including the water pipe there.
Okay.
And that was something that I think they need to raise, because if you look at the map that I provided you. The size of the pipe actually stops in 6 inches. I think that's where the fire hydrant is. And then from the rest of the school street from there to the school, about 2 inches or less. So BOA has to pay for upgrading that anyway.
I was gonna say, yeah,
It's
that's
like
almost
7
2 inches.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Or at least that's it's according to the map that I.
Comes in the building.
So they'll have to go out and hire their own engineer to come in and do the study for them.
BOA has to do their own
They've
upgrades.
got to do their own upgrades. Okay.
And they have to do the upgrade to the water line, even on the street. Wow. Do they realize this?
They've been told.
They've been told, okay. Good.
And it's part of the standards and requirements we have that
Yep.
if there's any project that's happening and. There's either. A burden that's placed in the field district or the water district, it's up to the developer to pay for that.
I'd love to have the pressure at my house. I can't keep a regular hose.
You can't.
Put a hose end on it, within 4 or 5 days it blows.
Right, so
So much pressure.
are you done, Max? You good?
I'm done.
It's like 140, 150
I
pounds.
wasn't sure what the public hearing for the June 13th warrant, but just because I brought up the TIF. I am gonna have a required public hearing for that on May 30th at 4:30 PM before the 250th committee meets. That's just a quick little service announcement. I'll be out of the room by 6, I promise.
4:30.
4:30, May 30th, yep.
Julie, did you have something?
Mm-mm.
Okay, next is appointment of Robin Kerber to the Sylvania Redevelopment Committee. Robin has attended the meetings on that committee. She's contributed to the discussion and has a wealth of information. And so I submit her name to join that committee.
I'd second that.
Is there any discussion?
Yep.
Now proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. All right, next is request to name a driveway at 800 Banktown Road to Dunning's Way. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Not proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried.
We should name our driveways.
Well, this is actually a small road. It's
Yeah, I know.
There's a couple houses on it.
I think it's kind of fun that people get to name it.
Okay, old business, is there anything that? Anybody can think of that would qualify as old business? That needs discussion or action? All right, we'll move on to agenda items for next meeting. Would that be the water extension study?
No,
No.
because we won't have me or Pam.
Oh, okay,
Probably gonna have a light meeting the next.
Very late meeting. Would you like somebody to come in and chat with you?
Yeah, the auctions.
I can ask.
All right, what do you mean? Listen,
Yeah, but don't you want me there or do you just want Peg for that? Because I will
Right.
be registering voters.
That's right.
I can have Matt Weaver come, we can have Matt Weaver, we can ask Matt if he'll come for that meeting and give us an update
First,
from the first. All right, are we good?
and 80 grade. Contract or something.
We, yeah, I'm just waiting for it from their attorney.
okay, may I have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment?